Okay, so welcome to Afternoon Reads with Jay-Oulie. Today, I'm going to share a few things. For one thing, this one exercise I did with my writer circle that was really exciting, and I was challenged by the group to share as one of my little scotch pieces, one of those afternoon scotches. So hang on again. And also, I wanted to share a bit about what's going on in the incubator. So first things first, the first exercise actually comes from an inspiration from one of my favorite books called The 100 Years of Solitude from Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And I remember in probably my mid-20s doing this trip from Montreal all the way down to New York City via train, one of those clunky Amtrak trains. And it was this phenomenal setup because on one side of the tracks you had the Lake Champlain, and on the other side this kind of like cliff with like ferns and trees, and you felt like kind of this completely different world, and it just felt like this perfect capsule of experience to be reading this book, which is kind of like this kind of allegory of time and this kind of world of Latin America, this kind of jungle quality to it, and that's what I was experiencing on this train ride. And so the exercise was to flip through the book and just open it wherever, and I happened to open it on page 359. And the idea was that we would basically I would read a piece of it and stop somewhere, and then the group would have to like continue writing in with their own storyline. So this is what I wrote. So this starts off with, of course, the master, Gabriel. Ursula had to make a great effort to fulfill her promise to die when it cleared. The waves of lucidity that were so scarce during the rains became more frequent after August, when an arid wind began to blow and suffocated the rose bushes and petrified the piles of mud, and ended up scattering over Macondo the burning dust that covered the rusted zinc roofs and the age-old almond trees forever. Ursula cried in lamentation when that's where I had stopped. So that's where we took off, and this is what I continued to write. Ursula cried in lamentation when she realized that her fertile body was slowly shifting into infertility. Her body felt like a process of petrification too. And that fountain of youth, the cries of a dejected little offspring, sounding like that plastic ballet doll dancing when cranked on the jewelry box opened. Turning in circles, a contrived pattern, the cries looping in mechanical sequences. She heard it next door, through the window, the sound that her lush breast would not behold, not fulfill, the rosy tip would not get pinker, to stuff that baby's cries away. And however horrid that did occur to her, her body felt the pangs of pain of a dejected soil, never bearing fruit, never letting a new sapling arise, never continuing her line of great maternity, in wise plump fingers bathing that unborn dream and the unfulfilled family. So when we do these exercises, we basically give ourselves like a 5-minute container, and you just write. You don't edit. You just like write whatever comes out. So that's what came out. My little scotch piece came out right there. And I also wanted to share with you a little bit about the incubator, the co-creative incubator, which happened. The first one happened on Wednesday, and was this powerful magic experience of all these beautiful human beings coming together, these creatives, these leaders of communities, these writers and wordsmiths and magazine writers and songwriters and hip-hop masters and spoken word artists, and just coming together to get re-energized, get recreative, like to sort of get that flow of creativity happening for them so that their writing could come through. And also the way that it's structured, this incubator, is that we take on the question of sex and intimacy at the same time. So we take the book Sex Up Your Life, and we take one chapter a week. And so the first chapter, if everyone knows my book, is The Secret at the Bottom of the Barrel. Because this journey in the book basically goes from completely disconnected sex to blissfully connected sex. So the first chapter is in the deep end, and that's where we were last Wednesday. And we got everyone to discuss about it, to discuss what was coming up for them. And then I had a bunch of like creative prompts for them to go into some of their stories, to like write about it and turn all that muck or whatever difficult situations into art. And did that through different types of things. And at the end, the exercise I got them to do was to honor their body as temple. So like to write a piece that, you know, that honors their body as temple. So I'll just read you my piece. And my hope is that some of the people of the group will eventually be reading their pieces, or I'll get the permission to read some of their pieces, because honestly, I have to say there's some masterpieces in the making in there. But here's my simple piece that, again, which was like an interesting thing for me, is to always see how, you know, we have such strong inner critics. So in the group, there was all this feeling of like, am I writing the right thing? But it's like, no, like whatever comes out, we're just letting it rip. And we're letting that, nurturing that powerful connection with like, you know, inspiration to just come through us. So yeah, we just write whatever comes. So body as temple, toe, temple, time, tip in tepid water to tantalize your soul into sweet serenity, sound of water on legs, lengthening into languid places, drifting up and down the bathtub, touching the tiles and the thighs. My whole body submerges into water, heaven, whatever it takes to feel the wafts of feeling, calm in this bathtub of peace. My body is loved here. I can let those stressed varicose veins release. The breath can re-enter the body, can reclaim its space. Ah, us humans, we are to breathe, to receive. We are to exhale for relief. Water rocking my breast, they can become light and buoyant here. So can my heart, it can elate. So those are just like little simple, exciting experiences that we let ourselves experience, and allow whatever comes through to come through, and let that magic just appear on these white pages. So that's it for today for afternoon reads with Jay-Oulie. Sometimes a little bit of like a little shot of scotch. Yeah, you'll be able to find me here some other afternoon. Talk to you soon.